Hey everybody, how's it going? I am coming at you with a Digimon card game gameplay video between Yellow Hybrid on the right and Purple Yellow Cherubimon on the left. We are playing in my last local tournament, which was a win-a-box tournament that I ended up taking. This is one of the matches from that tournament, and I did unfortunately lose Game 3 of the footage, but the tournament was being played with no sideboards and with mulligans. I'm going to open up the game with a Pokemon, and I'm going to reveal top 5, and I'm going to see 3 cards go to the bottom of the deck that I really don't want them to go to the bottom of the deck, but I'm like looking at that and I'm like, well, that kind of sucks because now I know there's 3 rookies at the bottom of the deck, 2 of them being Salamons, and in a matchup that's as grindy as Yellow Hybrid versus Purple Yellow Cherubimon, Salamons are definitely cards that you're going to want to have. Also, so are Bushis, because the Bushis help you kind of push for game against this deck. My opponent's going to drop a TK and grab a TK from a security before recovering, and he's going to pass me with 1 memory. Choking this deck is actually really important, I'm going to Digivolve into a Salamon my raising, and my opponent's going to be like, what's that card again? And then I'm going to explain what it does. Also, the Upamon underneath it and its effect. I'm playing 4 Upamons and 4 Salamons in this deck. I'm going to drop a Koichi, give him 3, and I'm going to draw 1 and trash 1, trashing the Rebellionmon. Rebellionmon's not super duper impactful in this matchup, and if I do need a Rebellionmon in my hand, I can bring it back pretty easily with either Calling from the Darkness or with the Mat, so trashing it in the early game when I don't really need it's pretty good. My opponent's going to drop another TK down. He really likes what he has in his security and wants to make sure that, he kind of shuffles through it. My opponent is playing the purple base, but he is playing the Demi-Meramons instead of the Xiaomons a lot of you have seen. I'm going to go into the Loimon on top of the Koichi here and gain 2 memory off of the Pokemon, and then go into the Rihimon for 1. I'm going to use Rihimon here to go into a Cherubimon because I have no other options. Based on that first Pokemon reveal, you can probably imagine that I have nothing. I have no Tamers in trash. I have no rookies in trash either. So it's a pretty bad Cherubimon, and if he had like a Wyvern's Breath to answer it right here, then I'd be in a pretty bad spot. Yeah, I'd be at like 5 memory, but I wouldn't be able to do a ton. So I'm literally just Digivolving at this point to cycle because I need to cycle so badly. My hand is not good, and I have a ton of hybrids in hand, but no Tamers. So I'm kind of hoping at this point I have some Tamers in security. My opponent goes into Kazuma on top of one of his TKs here, and then he goes Rise Gray for 3 on top of that, and he's going to play the TK Kari from hand. TK Kari's great in this matchup because he can see here that I'm going to want to go aggressive here because I want to at least get some Digimon in the trash so that if my Cherubimon does die, then I have some options here. I'm going to hit the Schwartz in security, which is actually pretty nice, and I'm also going to put him down to 2 security by swinging with the Cherubimon and then dropping the purple Kari. He goes to 5 because of this TK Kari, but now at least if my Cherubimon does die, I've gotten 3 security down, and I can bring back a Pokemon at least. I'd probably bring back the Pokemon here just because you want that search, and based on how I'm doing right now. My opponent's going to drop the Zoe, look at the last 2 cards in security. He cannot take any of them. He's just explaining that, and then he's going to put it back here. Just double checking what they are again. He's going to shuffle them. Ask me to shuffle them. I didn't really care, but it's whatever. And then he has a couple of options that he could do here with the Yellow Hybrid deck. You have so many different options. He's going to go Zephyrmon for 2. And then I think actually there's a misplay here that I actually didn't catch, but he is thinking about Digivolving on top of it. He's going to swing the Rise Greymon, and I misplay here by not tapping my Kari. I could have tapped my Kari here and then passed his turn. So I don't know why I didn't do that. And then he swings the Digimon that he just played, and then it dies. So it's like kind of whatever, but it's kind of annoying because I shouldn't have taken that swing, and I should have just passed turn. So he gets a little bit more resources out here. Like I think he gets another Tamer down here, I think. So that's kind of annoying for me because I would really like to have not had that happen. Yeah, he drops another Tamer here. Looks at his security again. Nothing that he can take. Asks me to shuffle it again. Again, I really didn't care too much, but now it's my turn again, and I have Digimon hatched and raising. Digivolve into Salmon, unspend my Cherubimon, draw for Digivolution here. Swings over the Rise Greymon with the Cherubimon, which is kind of the no-brainer. Drop a Kari and then drop a Mat here. And then with the mat, I'm going to grab back the Cherubimon that just got checked in security because having hybrids is good. And then he's going to go to 6 because of the TK Kari. But now I actually have a pretty good spot right now. I have 3 rookies in trash. I have 3 tamers out, 2 of them being Karis, which are actually really, really nice because they're a pseudo floodgate. And then he goes Jet Selfie, recovers 1 because he's kind of falling behind at this point. I have a memory tamer out too, which is really nice. And then he goes into Cherubimon to recover another 1, which, you know, it's good. But then he's going to check 2 security. I'm going to tap both my Karis, go to 3. He hits Ancient Sphinxmon on the first check and dies, which was super fortunate for me. Because going down to 1 security here would kind of suck. But I'm going to go with my Salamon. And now that my Upamon is live and so is my Salamon's gonna swing hit a Kari, which is pretty annoying. Swings Zek with the Cherubimon, he's gonna tap it, and then I'm gonna hit a Fly Bolt. It's gonna pop my Cherubimon, which is pretty fortunate. Koichi's gonna gain me a memory, and then I'm gonna play out Boko and Salamon here. Bokomon's gonna reveal top 5. I recover here. That's a misplay. I should have recovered after I revealed here. But I actually go into a Deathclaw here, and I'm like thinking to myself when I was watching this, why did I recover 1? It's because I actually Deathclawed my Salamon afterwards, and I just was kind of just flustered by all the triggers that I was doing here. And he's like, oh, why'd you delete Salamon? And I'm like, oh, I meant to Deathclaw it. And I should have recovered after the Pokemon reveal, but there's just so many things happening at once that I kind of just forgot. But I'm going to pick up the Koichi and the tamer from the reveal. Looking at my trash right now, seeing what kind of options I have to pick back up. Not a ton of things in trash. I'm dropping the Lucemon, going to 4 here, and because I have 10 cards in trash, I'm just explaining that he's only a 5 cost. My opponent then goes to 5 because of his TK Kari. But yeah, now I'm back at 4 security, which is really nice. So in a pretty decent spot here, going for I have 3 swings, and I have 3 tamers, so he has to recover here, otherwise he's in a pretty terrible spot himself. So he either has to clear my board, which he probably should do with like a Schwartz here. That's what I would do at least. I would Schwartz out my opponent at this point because I have game. So there's a couple options that you can have. You can Digivolve to kind of cycle your deck and then go into a Schwartz, or you can just Schwartz hard here. You can't choke me, so the better play is to Digivolve, cycle your cards a little bit more, and then Schwartz, because it's hybrids or tamers. He drops the Gazimon first, then he Schwartzes me, which I think is a really weird play. But I guess he just wants that body on the board. I go to 4 memory here, and 4 is kind of the magic number for this deck because with the Cherubimon into the Rihihimon, that's 3, and then you can still go into Cherubimon and only pass 3 memory to your opponent. Obviously, he has TK Kari. I swing security with this and die, and actually play back the mat with that Rihihimon, which is actually super duper nice because I actually really need the mat back. I grab a Cherubimon, and the Cherubimon's going to be great here because I will have that play where I can bring back another tamer from my trash and also play some rookies. I Digivolve here for 2 on that. He goes to 3 and then to 5. And then I draw for the Digivolution. Just trying to cycle my deck a little bit more. I still have 4 security, so he drops the Pokemon, reveals top 5. And I think he reveals a Kazemon, a TK, and then also TK Kari, a Gazi, and then there's a Jet Sylphie there as well. So he takes the TK Kari, and I believe he takes the Jet Sylphie as well. Or no, he has the Kazemon, and he puts the Jet Sylphie on top and sends it all to the bottom of his deck. And you can see at this point, the decks are getting pretty thin. He's already halfway through his deck, and we did see that he is playing Susanomon as well, so that's something to be mindful of if he needs to pop a Digimon. Susanomon's a great card, but I think it's a bit clunky now without Mega Digimon Fusion, so just something to keep in mind. Now that the Pokemon's out, he can Digivolve on top of his Tamers freely. So he's thinking about Digivolve on top of the TK Kari, going to the Kazemon here to draw, gets the refund from Pokemon, and then goes Jet Sylphie for 1, recovers, and then he's going to just kind of think about what his next play is here. And he's got a couple of different plays. He can drop a TK Kari, he can swing with the Jet Sylphimon. He's going to swing Pokemon again, another misplay because I think he just played that Pokemon this turn, but it dies anyways. Swing with Jet Sylphimon, hits another mat, which is great because I can bring back another purple card from my trash, and I think I can grab like the Deathclaw here, because now I can pop my own Cherubimon, which is fantastic. And I untap my card here, but it doesn't end up mattering because I just realized that I untapped it by accident. I thought I had one memory, and then it was my turn, and then I'm like, he's like explaining that no, it's not, it still has one memory. So he swings with Digimon, hits a Loimon. I flip my trash the right way up. And then I think my opponent's just thinking about what his next move is, because he's like, you're at 0, so I can drop a Tamer, or I can play a Rookie. There's a couple options that he has here. None of them are super duper great, but you know, it is what it is here. So we'll see what his options are. I have a couple of different options as well. You know, I can go into a Rahihi, trade with the Jet Sylphie, and then bring back the Kari, and then, you know, Digivolve on top of it with another. I'll still have, you know, 2 memory, and then I can go on top of the Rihi. There's lots of different options here that I have in my deck, depending on how much memory he gives me. Not a ton of his cards are 3 memory, so he's probably gonna give me 4 here. And 4 is, like I said, the magic number for this deck because it lets me go Rahihimon and then back into a Cherubimon afterwards to kind of put a lot of pressure on my opponent. So he drops TK card, gives me 4 memory, and I'm like, great, fantastic, I want that. So I hatch and I Digivolve in raising to a Bushi, and I draw off the Digivolution. My opponent has the suspended Jet Sylphimon. I go Kaiser Leomon for 1, and then I swing into it to trade because it has retaliation because it's on top of a hybrid. Which was, you know, kind of the ideal play there. And I still have 3 memory now, and I can make a couple of plays happen here since I have 3 memory. I drop a Kari, and then I think I drop an Analog Youth. Just because I want to get that reveal on my top 5 or top 3, and I want to also trash that Bushi. So now I have a couple different options. Just exploiting the TK Kari is not live because I have less security than him. And if he has double, he can't go double hybrid and kill me here because of the Karis. So I'm in a pretty good spot. Yeah, it's 2-1, but I have all these Tamers and I have a Bushi. He goes Kaze for 2 and swings at my last security, tap both my Karis to end his turn, and he hits a Lucemon and it dies. So now I have a live Lucemon as well. So, but unfortunately, I actually don't have any plays here. I swing. Basically, I'm just hoping he doesn't have a hybrid in hand. And with yellow hybrid, they usually do. So I swing. He taps his card. I have 2 memory now. And so I'm kind of thinking to myself, what can I do here? And I've cycled through my deck enough that I actually have the Rebellion back in my hand. I only play the 2 of them. So I go Kaiser Leo, draw off that, and then I go, Rebellion is the best play here. I trash 1 to give blocker retaliation. And that's the answer for the Gazimon, but the problem is I have no answer for the hybrid. He swings Gazi, and then I block it, and then dies. He draws 1, trashes 1, and then he has the hybrid, so that's just going to be game 1, unfortunately. Drops the hybrid on top of his TK, and once he's trashed in his Digimon, and then he just swings there, and that's game. Alright, moving on to game 2. I opted to mulligan, so my opponent is going to keep his hand, and he's going to start. It's going to hatch the Demimeramon, and he is going to Digivolve that into a Gazimon to start the cycle on his deck. And he's going to drop a Pokemon, give me 3 memory, and reveal top 5, and search for a Tamer hybrid. He has a lot of options here. Takes a Jet Sylphie, and then he's thinking and grabs a TK. TK is probably the best play here. I hatch my Upamon, Digivolve into Salamon there, and I just drop a Mat and give him 1. It's good play. Going second in this meta is really, really good because there's not a lot of plays that people can do to choke you based on all the hybrid decks. He's going to swing into my security, hit Ancient Sphinxmon, and he's going to draw 1, trash 1 off the Demimeramon. Just trying to figure out what he wants to trash here. And dropping the Mat there was kind of weird because I had nothing in my trash, but getting that Memory Tamer out early is important so that you don't get choked. And also, because I have the Memory Tamer out now, anything that he does is like, you know, he's got to answer that, right? So he plays out his own Memory Tamer and grabbed another TK from his security. That's back-to-back games. He's grabbed a TK from his first TK, which is kind of funny. And then he's just going to recover and shuffle his security. And that's that. It's back to my turn now. I'm at 3 memory here. I push up my Mat here, go into Loimon, draw keep the cycle going. I swing sec with that. It hits Akari, unfortunately, so that's great. Love to see that. And I play another mat and I grab back the Ancient Sphinxmon. Ancient Sphinxmon is like not super important in this matchup, but it's like I didn't really have any other options, and putting him at 3 is fine. This way I got a little bit of chip damage out, and he has no Tikikari out yet, so he doesn't really matter too much. And I now have, you know, a Tamer out, and then I have a Hybrid, and I have a Salamon Raising, so if he does swing with his Pokemon. But he plays a Zoe here to look at his security again. And he actually did not have any Hybrids in his security to take, so he just shuffles it and puts it back. And that's kind of unfortunate when you have no options from that Zoe, because you can't go +1 off of it. So he goes into a Kaze for 2, and goes into Jesself for 1 to recover. He's just thinking about it if he wants to do it or not. He's decided against it, which is fine. He plays a Gazimon down to give me 3. It makes sense. Going for 1 there kind of sucks. So I unsuspend my Loimon here. And I kind of think about what options I have. So I'm just kind of thinking to myself, it's like, I play Deathclaw to pop it to pop his Kazimon because I know he has Jet Sylphie now. And I drop an Analog Youth for 2. And it's like, that play is kind of cheesy for me. But at the end of the day, I grab the Cherubi here. The rest of my trash is kind of whatever. But I have a Rebellion trash with the Rikikimon. And but yeah, it was pretty cheesy because I knew he had Jet Sylphie. So taking out the Kazemon with the Deathclaw is just like, that's a knowledge and info play there. And I just ended up passing it back to him because I didn't really have any other plays. But yeah, that's a knowledge play. Like, I knew he had Jet Sylphie in hand because he put it down and then took it back. He swings security with Electmon, hits Salamon, and dies. Doesn't have any effect trigger on when it draws 1 trash and 1 Demi-Miramon. This is why you don't play cards if you don't mean to play them, because you give your opponent information, and because of that, took it out, no problem. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't Deathclaw it. I probably would have done something different. Like, I would have Analog Youth first, but doesn't really matter. I probably should have Analog Youth first, grab the Rikikimon, Digivolved, and then play the mat out. But he's going to play our TK. Kari, and pass turn to me. Just going to take the Kari out, remove the thing from his security, tapping the Kari there, and then recovering 1. Thanks to that Kari, which is fine. It's a smart play, but the Kari's now going to be tapped on my side, so now I don't feel too bad swinging with my Salamon. When he does, because I have the Upamon live now, I have Salamon live, and I have a mat in my trash now, and he knows I picked up Cherubimon, so I can go into Cherubi here to kill both of his rookies, because I'm going to have at least 2 Tamers out. So that's going to be a good play for me. And I have a bunch of rookies in my trash as well, so pushes out that, goes into Zephyrmon, but it doesn't cost anything. And then he's like kind of thinking about what he wants to do next. I think that was a TK that he just played, so... and then he goes into Rise Greymon to drop a Zoe from his hand. Doesn't get the effect though. So I push out my Salamon, swing sack, drop Upamon, hits another purple Kari. Fantastic. You love to see that, right? I'm so lucky with that. It's the second time I've swung in and hit a purple Kari, but it is what it is. I go Loimon for 2 and draw off the Digivolution. And then I didn't grab the Rikikimon because I had one in hand already, but I go Rebellion here, draw 1, trash 1. To give it block retaliation, because, you know, that's kind of the base play that I have here. He's got 3 Digimon on board, and if my Rebellion dies, I can tap my Analog Youth to hatch an egg and gain memory, and then also has retaliation. So if he decides to go into a kind of a boss monster here, it's disadvantageous for him. So he goes Kaze for 2, but Pokemon lets him do it for free, and it's looking kind of scary here, but because I have blocker retaliation, it makes it like pretty de-incentivized for him to swing with his bigger boss monsters, and only for his rookies to swing. And I don't really care if he swings with his rookies, because if he hits Tamers in security, that's really good for me. So we're just kind of waiting to see at this point from my side if he is going to, you know, really go aggro in, or if it's going to be more of like a patient play. Jet Sylphie comes out to recover 1, puts him back up to 4. There are no really options otherwise. You know, he doesn't really want to swing. He does swing. I'm like, whatever, let that go through. Koichi, draw 1, trash 1, and I trash Ancient Sphinxmon, so I'm like, I'm not going to need it. He swings with the Rise Greymon. I block it, tap my Analog Youth, gain a memory, Hatchet Egg, and because I have to block it, otherwise he just wins the game. Salamon for Digimon trade, and then he brings me down to 0 security, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm in a great spot here. And he's not wrong, he is in a pretty good spot, 100%. But I'm also, like, I'm in an okay spot. I have 0 security right now, so it kind of sucks. And then he's kind of like, yeah, I'm going to go into this Cherubimon and give you 3, which is good. I like having 3 memory here, because I can swing into the Cherubimon, recover 1. And then I have a couple plays here that I can go in. And I think my play here is I go Koichi into Kaiser Leo for 2. And then I go into a Rikikimon for 1, draw, and then I swing. I draw off the Upamon as well. Salamon into Upamon. I swing into the Cherubimon here to pop it, tap the analog youth to gain memory, tap Koichi, and then I play the mat from my hand, and I grab back the Rikikimon there. So that's pretty awesome. And let him read it there. He's like, okay, cool. Doesn't really need to. Analog youth super great for comboing as well. If I had 3 there, that'd be pretty nasty. But I have a couple more options now because I have 3 memory now, and he has no bodies on board, and he can't really kill me next turn because he has no Digimon on board, nothing in raising, and he only has 1 Hamer. I can analog youth for 2, and I can grab a Pokemon, rest go to the trash, and then I go for Akari. So I just kind of limiting what my opponent can do here. Now I have 4 Tamers out, so a potential Cherubimon play is actually really, really potent. Because I know I have like a Pokemon trash, there's a Lucemon trash from earlier, there's some Salamons in trash as well. So I think my opponent does hard play here, does kind of get killed. So he drops the Pokemon for 3, builds top 5, and he sees TK Kari, TK, and a Zephyrmon, and he's like, yeah, I'm taking the TK here because it's like I need to see what's in my security. I've recovered so much at this point that it's like, you know, my deck's pretty thin, so what can I do? And of course, as you notice, this matchup's really, really grindy, so being able to see what's in your security is really, really important. He currently has 6 security, so that's nice, and he drops a Zoe here. He's like, I'll match your Tamers with my Tamers. So I push up my Salamon here. I don't swing yet. I'm so yeah, pushing it up because I need to do some stuff here. I push up my mat and I go, what are my options here? Mat goes into Loimon, and I'm just kind of thinking, I have the Rikikimon for 1. And then I believe that I go into a Cherubimon here because I'm like, yeah, I need to see what's in my trash first though. And it's like, okay, I have this Lucemon in my trash, I have a Salamon, I have a Pokemon, I have 3 Tamers out, and I have a 4th Tamer in my trash right now, and I think I have another Mat or a Koichi at least. So it's like, okay, well, I can definitely recycle something from my trash and play it out. So I go Cherubi here, I play the Mat, I pop the Pokemon, I go to 4, and then my Mat lets me take a card back from my trash, but I definitely missed that trigger on the Mat, which is kind of unfortunate for me because I definitely could have grabbed the Deathclaw there on the Mat to pop my own Digimon. And now he has enough, but I have the 1 Kari, so he can't win because of my 1 Kari. So that was kind of my thought process. Like, I give you 4, but it's like I tap the Kari on the first swing, and it's a Koichi. I draw 1 of my trash 1. The Digimon would be kind of crazy in this deck too. I put another Pokemon in there, and then he should go to 1 memory here. So I tap the Kari. I think I adjust it in a second here. And he's talking, he's like, oh, that Kari is so annoying. I'm at 1 memory right now because of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to update that really, really fast because, you know, yeah, I updated. I'm like, yeah, sorry, my bad. Just tapped the Kari, you're at 1 memory. And that really does stop him from being able to win the game here, which is like super duper important to me. Because having the ability to like stall out for another turn is super great for me. And his security is gonna be super jacked up because of the Zephyrmon on top of the Zoe. So like my Salamon's gonna die. And hopefully my my Cherubimon dies when I swing in as well. Like that's kind of a nice thing about this matchup is that like your Cherubimon, you don't usually have to pop it yourself because like hitting like a Jet Sylphimon in security with plus 6k kills your Cherubimon every time. And he's also playing things like Susanomon as well. So that to me is like, what do we do here? And I mean, Susanomon's kind of cool in this matchup, but personally, Susanomon doesn't really do much, in my opinion, to like end the game. But he does go into Susanomon here, and he gives me 6. He goes on top of his Kari, which is actually super nice for me because that's one of those floodgate things. And he has to put 10 back to the deck, so he's kind of going through, counting out 10. And then he's got some from his hand as well to place because he has to have 10. So he's like, oh, there's 2 more. I'm like, you have to have 10. There's only 9 there. So he's like, oh gosh, I need one more. And I know he really wanted to have the one hybrid to finish. But I think one kind of misplay here from him is he actually kills my Cherubimon, which I kind of want. You can't get stuff from the field. It has to be from your hand or trash. And he's like, oh god. So he's like, I didn't really want to put Jet Sylphie there. I'm going to need that. And so that kind of lets him recycle his deck a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I can't win the stall game. And so he kills the Cherubimon. Or does he kill it? He kills the Salamon, and it's like, okay, that's fine. Because its two options are kill Cherubi or kill Sala, right? And they're both pretty bad options. So I draw for turn, and I discard off the Koichi that I just played. I swing Cherubion into security, and I hit a Fly Bullet, which kills it. So I don't have to do anything. I tap 2 Analog Youths to go to 5, which is nice. I should have hatched, but I play Bushi, Sala, Lucy. I'm just counting out the rookies that I have in trash right now. So I'm just trying to see what I want to play here. So I play 1 Bushi. I play a Lucimon to recover 1. Then I play 2 Pokemons, and then 2 Salamons. So I have 6 Tamers at this point. So I reveal top 5 twice. And I can take the Kaiser Leo. And then another top 5. And then I can take a Tamer as another Koichi at this point. And I show him what's there. There's a Bushi in there, unfortunately. I'd rather have that, you know. Whatever. I didn't hatch the egg on the Analog Youths, which is like kind of a misplay from me. And my opponent didn't catch it either, which is kind of poor play on our part. But now I have this like massive board, and I have a couple of different options here. So I'm just trying to think about like what kind of plays I want to go. I go Kaiser Leo for 2, but then I'm getting 2 memory back from the Boko, and then 2 more on top of that, so it's a +2 memory play. And then I go Rebellion for 3, and I draw 1, and then I trash 1 as well. And the thing about the Rebellion is that Susanomon just can't swing now because I have the Rebellion with blocker and retaliation. So it's like, you know, what's he gonna do? And then I go Loimon for 2, draw another one, and then I go Rihimon for 1, and I go into another Cherubimon, and I bring back another Tamer, and I believe I have a Koichi here in my trash, or Matt here, and then Matt lets me bring back another card, which is Deathclaw, which is super duper important. I pop the Zephyrmon with that, and then I have a Cherubimon out, and I have a Matt, and I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Digimon on board to his 5 security, and I have a blocker retaliation against his Susano. So it's like I have 2 security left, and he has 1 Tamer, so he basically has to win this turn or kill my entire board. And even with a Schwartz, he can't kill my entire board. And I'll just spawn out all the rookies again next turn. So it's like, you know, what's he gonna do at this point? So he's just kind of thinking about what he can do, and he's only at 4 memory too, right? So it's not like I give him a ton of memory, and I still have the Kari. So if he tries to swing in security with like a Digimon from a hybrid or something like that, then I can tap that as well. So even if the Susanomon could swing, I'm obviously gonna block it. And I still have a blocker for a hybrid play. So it's a pretty hard position for my opponent to be in, and he's trying to think about what he can do, and that's a pretty huge combo that I pulled off with the Cherubimon because it gave me so much memory with the Susanomon. And being able to play the Pokemons off the Cherubimon pop effect is super great because you get that cycle, as well as being able to get 4 memory back is pretty crazy. So your Digimon's Digivolution gives you 2 memory, which is crazy to me. I think Pokemon's a super underrated and I think a pretty powerful card, and he belongs in every single hybrid deck. I think that's super duper important to have. But if you can't play 4, at least play 2 Pokemon, because he's just so important. My opponent is really trying to think about what to do here. He doesn't really have a ton of options. He's kind of just trying to tell me like how frustrated he is with that Rebellion. And Rebellion is one of those cards that kind of stops a lot of decks in their tracks. Red Hybrid hates Rebellion. Susanomon hates Rebellion really, really bad. What else? Like, anything that can't stun it really hates it. So even like Green Hybrid hates it because yeah, they can suspend it, but they can't swing over it to get the piercing. So it's a pretty good stopgap. It's really, really good. And he plays the Schwartz to pop my 2 Pokemons, which is pretty smart because, you know, the Pokemons, you know, they can do a lot for me. But the thing is like I can bring them back just by popping my own. So I swing security with Bushi, hits the Zoe, he looks at his security, and he grabs the Zephyrmon, and then he recovers 1 and shuffles. And then I don't know if he's gonna ask him if he's gonna tap his Kari just to clarify, because and he does, because I want to know how much memory I have to work with. I swing with Lucemon, hit another Kari, unlucky. And I'm like, at this point I have to like swing away. Basically I swing, Salamon dies, I recover 1, swing with the other Salamon, hit a Pokemon, it dies, and I recover 1. I swing with Cherubimon, hit a Schwartz, and it kills basically everything on my board, which is like potentially super duper annoying. I Deathclaw my own Cherubimon, and I Bushi for game. So potentially annoying, but super great game. If you want to see more gameplay, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and have a great one.